Good evening, everyone. This is Mellissa Thomas with Florida National News coming to you with the evening news rundown for your Thursday, May 7th of 2020. Thank you, as always, for tuning in. Now, today, I do have an audience question for you guys. I'll get into the story here shortly, but I do want to present the question to you guys first. There is a report now that the military will be denying COVID-19 survivors. Now, do you guys think that is the right policy? Give us your thoughts below. Leave a comment. Let us know how you feel about that. And, we'd love to talk it over with you in the comments. Now, for me, as a military vet, this is something that strikes a chord for me, but I also understand the importance of safety. So leave your comments below. Let us know what your thoughts are on that. Now, jumping into the COVID-19 numbers, of course, we always like to share those with you from the World Health Organization. So according to the WHO, we are at 3.67 million plus cases globally, with over 254,000 confirmed deaths. In the United States, we're at roughly 1.2 million deaths, 1.2 million confirmed cases in the United States, with over 65,000 confirmed deaths. And according to the Florida Department of Health, we are at just over 38,000 confirmed cases, with roughly 1,540 deaths. There wasn't much change between yesterday and today. So huge congrats to the people of the state of Florida for continuing to remain careful and observing social distancing, washing your hands, keeping your faces covered. Excellent work. Now, jumping over to the world story for today, primarily this one is more economic in nature as a consequence of COVID-19, but the European Commission released their financial predictions for the European Union yesterday, and it's looking kind of bleak for the European Union right now. They're projecting that the European Union, the economy has protracted, and they will protract by 7.5% for 2020, which is even higher than the 4.5% contraction that the Union experienced back in the 2009 economic recession. They're expecting that the European Union will rebound by 6.1% in 2021, and the overall European area to improve by 6.3%, but they don't expect a full recovery till 2022. Now, the hardest hit countries, France, Spain, Italy, they've experienced over an 8% contraction in their respective nations' GDP. So expect a uphill climb for the European Union, economically speaking, where that's concerned. Coming back here to the United States, our president has had his second close call with COVID-19. You probably remember the story earlier in the year that took place down in Mar-a-Lago. Several government officials from Brazil came to visit at Mar-a-Lago, and they tested positive for the coronavirus. Well, a report came out today from the Deputy White House Press Secretary, the principal Deputy White House Press Secretary, that the president's personal valet tested positive. The personal valet is a member of the military, works in frequent contact with the president, and the president has several personal valets that are in frequent contact with him. And as you guys remember that we talked about earlier this week, anyone who's working closely with the president or vice president is administered a rapid coronavirus test. So they get their results within minutes. So this gentleman was tested positive. He was tested, got the results back positive. As a result, as soon as they found that out, they tested the president and vice president. Both tests came back negative for both of them. So big sigh of relief where that's concerned. Now, getting back to that military story that I was telling you about, a memo was released yesterday that gives the MEPSCOM instructions on how to administer new recruits in light of the COVID-19 pandemic. It gives instructions on what the folks at the various recruiting centers should be doing if they come into contact with someone who is confirmed or potentially sick with COVID-19. Now, for anyone who is potentially sick, they have to, if they fail the screening, the MEPS screening to be recruited into the military, they must quarantine for 14 days, and they're allowed to return after 14 days if they're symptom-free. And if they are confirmed positive, then they must quarantine for 28. They can't come back to the MEPS until 28 days later. And even after 28 days later, if they come back free of the disease, they are ruled, disqualified. And as of right now, the memo says permanently disqualified, whether their results are showing negative as a result of a lab test or a clinician, that is something they ruled out as permanently disqualifying. Now, the Military Times, when they reported on this, they asked members of the military the question, representatives of the Pentagon the question, like, why is this something that is permanently disqualifying compared to other illnesses that military recruits are screened for? So far, there has not been a confirmed answer, but the conclusion is, since there's still a lot left to learn about COVID-19 and how to handle it once someone does recover from it, they're still pretty much waiting for more conclusive evidence where that's concerned. So for now, it's a permanent disqualification, even for those who have recovered and are now going back to try to enlist in the military. So for now, keep your head up. I think we're going to probably see some more updates in the future. So stay tuned right here at FloridaNationalNews.com as we continue to bring you that report. And of course, leave your comment below on your thoughts on that. Like, do you think that's the best idea, or should those who want to serve their country be allowed to serve their country regardless? All right, so jumping over to our Florida updates, okay? There are a couple for you. So the Blue Angels, you've probably heard stories about the Blue Angels and the Thunderbirds doing flyovers across the country. Well, Florida gets its turn tomorrow. So they'll be flying over two metro areas tomorrow, the area of Jacksonville and the Miami metro area. So the Jacksonville flyover will be roughly 20 minutes from 11:40 a.m. starting off at Naval Air Station Mayport to 12 noon, landing at or stopping at Fleming Island. And then the Miami metro area flyover will pass through, it will be 25 minutes long and will pass through Boca, Fort Lauderdale, Hollywood, Miami, and Homestead. So roughly 25-minute flyover there. And that will start at 1 p.m. So anyone in those areas that are looking for the amazing Blue Angels or the Thunderbirds, you'll be able to see them. As you saw, you probably heard the story about the flyover that took place in New York City. A little bit tricky with the social distancing situation. Everybody came out to see that. But here in Florida, it will be a little bit easier, not necessarily as tricky now that our restrictions have been eased here in the state of Florida. Now, another Florida update for you. Here locally in Orange County, Commissioner Myra Uribe will be delivering food to Orange County Corrections tonight at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. This is an initiative she did in partnership with Zaxby's on Orange Blossom Trail, as well as a couple nonprofit organizations, PAAD, What a Fan Charities, to be able to honor corrections officers. Because even though this was also Teacher Appreciation Week, what you may not know is that it is National Corrections Officer and Employee Week as well. So she'll be delivering foods and meals to 250 corrections officers tonight at 7:30 at Orange County Corrections. So tip of the hat to Commissioner Uribe for that gesture. And as you guys have been hearing on our newscast, there are plenty of local initiatives, national initiatives, and corporate initiatives to celebrate those who are healthcare workers, workers in law enforcement, first responders during this COVID-19 pandemic. So congratulations to Commissioner Uribe on that. Jumping over to your business news, speaking of initiatives, JetBlue is doing a wonderful one for medical workers and healthcare workers. They're offering 100,000 round trip free flights. And they're starting in New York City first. They're starting with roughly 10,000 staff at Mount Sinai Hospital at their various campuses, as well as NYC Health and Hospitals. Those employees they're starting with them, roughly 5,000 pairs, because it's pairs that they're starting with. But they also welcome their JetBlue customers to nominate healthcare workers that they know. So if you know someone who is a nurse, remember we celebrated National Nurses Day yesterday. So if you know a nurse or other medical professional that you feel needs to be honored with this, feel free to nominate them. Go to JetBlue and find out more on their website. So, congrats to JetBlue and congrats to every medical worker that's going to get to enjoy a round trip flight as a result, for sure. Now, jumping over to a little bit of sports news before we get into our entertainment. Obviously, as you heard Casey go over last night, several of the leagues here are ready to open up. You heard the Orlando Magic. They're one of the teams that's getting ready to open up their practice facility tomorrow. There's several other training facilities that are going to open up tomorrow as well, including the Cleveland Cavaliers, the the Denver Nuggets, and others. The Sacramento Kings are scheduled to open their facility on Monday, but there's still a few in the NBA that are hesitant, including the one and only Mark Cuban. We all know him as one of the sharks from Shark Tank, but he's also owner of the Dallas Mavericks. He and CJ McCullough of the Trailblazers, they both expressed their concerns in separate interviews. Mark Cuban was on ESPN's radio show. CJ McCullough was interviewed by Yahoo Sports, but they're both not quite in a rush to get started back up. All the athletes miss sports, they miss the excitement of the crowds, but both of them are saying, okay, like, you know, let's be sure that we have this virus under control. And from Mark Cuban's part, the question that he reiterated very often was, who do you trust with your life? You know what I mean? Like one of the points he was making was, sure, say for instance, you're training or you begin to start having your games. Can you trust the hotels that you're going to for your athletes to stay in? You know, for the athletes, you know, McCullum was talking about the sort of unease of the restrictions, being able to train, but not having access to certain places, being able to do certain things and not being able to do certain things. And you've heard us here at the Evening News Rundown talk about the restrictions even that soccer players are experiencing here in the MLS, like not having access to the showers and locker rooms, not having access to each other in order to practice social distancing in staggered training increments. But as you can see, so far the debate continues. Even though the states are gradually easing their restrictions, many within the entities still have their issues. Therefore, NBA Commissioner Adam Silver is having an all-player conference call tomorrow. So stay tuned right here, Florida National News, as Casey will likely bring those updates to you during her FNN Sports Take tomorrow. All right. So thank you guys for sticking around. We will bring you your entertainment in just a moment after this brief commercial break.
We wanted to move back home to be closer to his family. We decided to go with pods because things were stressful enough.
We weren't sure how long we were going to need storage for, so we needed something that was flexible, and then they can deliver the container to wherever we move to.
We haven't found the perfect house yet, but we're still looking.
All right, guys, welcome back. So we are about to bring in the one and only Jamecia Stoudemeyer out of LA.
Hey guys, how are you doing today?
Awesome. Thank you so much for being here, Jamecia. Always a pleasure to have you. The floor is yours.
Well, good afternoon, guys. It's Jamecia Stoudemeyer, all the way from Los Angeles, California, bringing you the entertainment 444. So tonight we're going to start off with number one, which is Nike. Nike is donating 30,000 shoes to healthcare workers and nurses across the globe. They're going to go to major cities like New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and Memphis. The type of shoe that they're actually giving away or donating is the Nike Air Zoom Pulse, which is what you can see in this picture here. These are sort of customized for an organ doctor or nurse, I believe, but that's a very similar style to what they'll be giving away to all the healthcare workers, and they look comfy. So I think I want a pair just to have. But that's awesome. It's great that everyone's giving back. Our number two is Meek Mill's. Happy birthday and congratulations on your brand new baby boy. Meek Mill's, rapper, just had the fourth child and Milano Harris's first child, as they had a son on his 33rd birthday. So that was a double surprise for him. So congratulations to you. Number three, we have Selena Gomez scores her own HBO Max cooking show. Not acting, not singing, but cooking. Since the pandemic has taken place, Selena has stepped into the kitchen a lot more. And for those that follow a lot of her interviews, it's always said that if she could have another career, it would be a chef. So HBO Max is giving her that opportunity. It's going to actually be 10 episodes. And how it's going to kind of go is they'll have a master chef remotely chime in and kind of give her some kitchen tips, because she's not a pro, but she's making it happen. So congratulations to Selena Gomez on that new series that'll drop on HBO Max, I believe, this summer. And number four today, we have Nicolas Cage is the new Tiger King. So it is said that Nicolas Cage will be playing Joe Exotic in a TV in an 8-series TV mini series. And this is actually Nicolas Cage's first TV show that he's actually done. So this will be a little different for him, but I'm sure he will have no problem, especially with the amazing Netflix original series, Tiger King, which tells the story of Joe Exotic and his Tiger Zoo in Oklahoma. So today, that is your 4 for Entertainment 4. This is Jamecia Stedemeyer. Make sure you guys follow me at the THE_ENT_mogul. And thank you guys. Back over to you, Mellissa.
Thank you so much. As always, it is a pleasure to have you, Jamecia. All right, guys, that does it for us here at the Evening News Rundown. As always, be sure to follow us on Facebook and YouTube. If you subscribe, be sure to subscribe to us on YouTube. You can find us at Florida National News. Here on Facebook, you can find us at Florida National News. You can also find us at FNN News TV and at FNN News Live. We like to keep things varied and exciting. So be sure to stay tuned. Of course, a couple of quick programming notes for you guys, by the way. So jumping over real quick to let you guys know, of course, tomorrow is Friday, so our schedule is usually packed. We will start tomorrow in the morning or in the afternoon at 1 p.m., where the lovely Jennifer Rosario de Casiano will be back with Entertainment Buzz, where she'll be interviewing Angela Posilico. And then obviously there will be the Evening News Rundown with me at 5 p.m. And at 8 p.m., there will be the lovely Casey Hudson bringing you the FNN Sports Take. So guys, thank you again so much for your time. It's always our honor to bring you guys the latest news. And hey, have a great rest of your evening. Enjoy your Thursday. Looking forward to seeing all of you guys tomorrow on Friday. Take care.